I'm as harmless as ladybug spots reflecting sun. When my back is broken from all this weight, and the pain is terrifying.
From now on, I am the third word in a sentence of 16, and I don't care if you forget me, just don't let your thoughts perish.
And I could not hear, see, or feel what God was doing. And at this particular time, this particular guy, he flew in.
Cause when I look in the sky, I wonder if I'll be sent up there. Thinking of heaven, that's a place I would love to live in and literally spend endless years.
I'm Selah B, and this is the East by Southeast Spoken Word Showcase. I am so happy to be here with Kelsey Erin Shipman. How are you?
Great. Happy to be here.
Good.
Excited.
Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
So you're working on a new project.
Yeah, I just finished recording my first studio album.
A
So
studio
excited.
album, music or poetry?
It's both.
Okay.
So I worked with several jazz funk artists. So there's a drummer and a keys player and a sax player. And
Hey, drop some names. Drummer who?
Drummer's Nick Mitchell.
Okay.
He does a lot of pipe band drumming.
Okay.
So it's kind of an interesting mix. And then Andrew McLemore, he's in a local band. He's been in several bands here, but he plays this baritone sax, the tenor sax, the keys. He wrote all the music.
Okay.
And then Brittany Barra, she's a singer-actress out of New York City. She does backup vocals.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes the album to a whole other level. So.
Whoa.
So they're all in the background. I'm reading my work, and Andrew wrote the music. So
That's very, very
So
exciting.
excited.
I'm pretty excited. So I heard you've come up with a way to fund the project.
yes, Kickstarter, which I recommend to everybody.
Yes, I
Kickstarter
like
is
that.
so great. It's amazing how your community will come out for you. I was surprised. So now we're printing and mastering the album, and that's all funded by people who wanted to get an early version of the album before the official release date.
So are you on Facebook?
On Facebook?
What's your
yes.
name on Facebook?
I think it's facebook.com/poetperformer. But if you search for Kelsey Erin Shipman, you can find my website, my Facebook, all those online homes.
I'm Selah V. I'm on Facebook too. So y'all should look us up and find links to us and listen to our poetry and find her Kickstarter and fund us and fund her and help us. We're poets, so
It's hard.
yeah, we're working on a poet's salary here, people. So what did you bring for us to share with us today?
Well, I just finished another manuscript for a book. I just about to graduate to get my MFA in poetry. So this is my
Wow.
thesis manuscript. This is my new manuscript I want to get published. So I brought 4 or 5 poems from that manuscript.
We've had some really, really credited poets on the show this year, and I'm really, really excited. So this is your thesis.
My thesis, my next book, hopefully, yeah.
All right. So Austin, Texas, y'all are going to grade her on her thesis right now. So make sure you give her a really good score. Okay? Let's check her out.
The Poet's Table. This is where we bring our grief. Bruised apples, blackened bananas, sour grapes. Here are the losses of childhood, the televisions and bicycles that replaced a mother's love. Here are the knuckles that bruised foreheads and held backs against the wall. Here are the secrets of murdered daughters, names of dictators, tools of torturers. This is where we invite memory to dance on the tabletop. A striptease of the psyche. Come, savor the smell of a grandmother's cookies, a father's fried chicken. The table is set with instruments, clarinets and saxophones to sing the blues away. This wood is meant for lovemaking, for rocking back and forth, a place for bodies to unveil themselves. Come with your lover, with your child, with your one single self. Pull out the chairs. Oh, thank you. So this next poem is called Each Year. Each year you wait for birthday cards and gas money and swift pats on the back. You wait for voicemails and thank you notes and cheers from the audience. But the mail is junk, and the room is cold, and the chairs are still empty at your gig. Your car is old, and your phone is charged, but there are no messages. So you cry into your bowl of grapes, and into the kitchen sink. You mail yourself letters and pour yourself drinks. But they are forever a train that never arrives at the station, and you are still the girl lonely on its tracks. So no matter if you cry wolf, or pigeon, or gray cat next door, no one will hear you except the cockroach on the floor. This next poem is called Khan, as in the wrath of, the name of a cat I had when I was young. The little girl couldn't breathe and desperately wanted someone to see when the emperor of the supermen climbed into her lap, a fierce, angry cat with no patience for human things. But she had watched him with purpose and waited quietly, folded herself into a bird's nest and charmed him with her song. And so she learned stillness and the gift of patient legs and how to ride his spine with her fingertips, a secret pleasure between two victims of divorce. She beaded bracelets with her anger. He unleashed his with claws, tore into furniture, opened gashes of white. She stayed up late at night, studying the bathroom wall. Her father left her there, alone with her teddy bear, silly girl with no shoes. She wanted to know if there was room for two at the hotel he left her for. This next poem is one woman's story from a Take Back the Night event in downtown Austin I went to last year. I found it very inspiring. It's called No City of Love. Italian and heavy, his skin smelled of sweat. Alone and far from the night train, I let him walk beside me, grateful he had finished raping me. Paris 3 years ago was no city of love. 2 days from a plane ticket and home-baked spaghetti. Daddy, will you still love me? Will I still be your baby girl? If you had taught me how to box, I could have stopped him. But instead, I let my limbs go limp, pretended I was in another body. Please, God, don't let this man haunt me. Don't let him into my dreams. Isn't it enough to be alone on the night train in Paris, to bring this home with me? His fingerprints were purple where he pressed against my chest. My lips were raw from where he sucked my breath from my lungs. His weight tacking me to cement. I didn't want it. This poem is called Hollow. The smack of her head against the wall was hollow, like the quick rage of a man. No mother or sister to catch the little girl's skull, or the familiar hand which snapped it back. Only a dull pain of plaster. Another Friday in her father's home. Another spilt bowl of beans and a manic rush to clean the floor. Fuzzy-headed and fumbling, she was pushed out the door, tiny fingers still curled around a broom. Morning was turning into afternoon, and from the back seat, she felt a certain softening. After the burn of a cigarette and the low rise of a bridge, her father stopped the car in the center of the road. Doors flung open and flapping, the little girl was left alone, while her father walked that yellow line. A turtle lay there. When her father lifted it high into the air, it drew its feet inside its shell. The little girl marveled at the power they shared. The ability to withdraw, to hide the softest parts of the self, to go cold and survive crushing fear. Then her father disappeared down the hill, cradling the reptile in his arms, and the little girl pressed against the glass as he returned the huge creature to the water. poem about love called 7 Ways I Love You. 1. Wet, fresh from the springs, smell of fish and sunscreen on your skin, all ripped knees and wild hair. I love you gilled and swimming. 2. Flat on your back, heaving, hours after lovemaking, when your body is a dance floor, when your heartbeat is a song. 3. Dripping on a dark stage, baritone bellowing, saliva and funk, brass and broken reeds, showering the night with your fat sound. 4. On my shoulder, the delta that gathers your rivers, sandbank for your tears, mangrove for your tides, wash over me, and I will contain you. 5. Wind blown from a thunderstorm, hushed and drying on a windowsill, pools of raindrops to drink off your skin. 6. Mustard and ketchup and a dark Belgian ale, freshly stained t-shirt and your garish laugh. I would have loved you when we were 12 too. 7. Candle lit, hair swept back, the way you reach into me, hot water lapping at your elbows, bathtub full of fingertips, and my body bursting into waves. And this last poem is called When to Make Love. It's a response to all the chaos in the world, and appropriate right now after what happened in Boston on Monday. When they pile coffins in the streets, making death as plain as it tends to be, let us make love. Let us make love with birth on the mind. When my back is broken from all this weight and the pain is terrifying, let us make love. Let us make love that nurses old wounds. When children's cries fill the skies and the earth shakes buildings apart, let us make love. Let us make love into foundation. If only for a brief moment, my back curled above an ocean, the bravest part of you nestled inside me. Let us make love. Let us make love like poetry. And when you are heartbroken with the violent turning of the world, let us make love. Let us make love as bridge. Against all odds, let us make love. Thank you all so much.